Experience virtual reality at Man Cave Esports, link down on the description below. Hello and welcome to Coast Nation Fan TV. Today we are previewing the game between Golden Arrows and Kaizer Chiefs. Round 2. We know how it ended the first time around. Now let's see how this will end up this time around. Of course we have a different coach and they also have a different coach, which means things will be much different from that. But before we get started with the video, please make sure to like this video so that YouTube can spread it to more people like you. Now let's go. So the first thing that we need to talk about is obviously the system. Uzwane and Shepard tried to play E3-4-3 in the previous game, which, as I said, there's nothing wrong with the formation. It's just that with that formation there needs to be constant communication between the back three. Let me make an example. So for example, you are playing against a team like Arrows, edlala striker, there is Umtizwa, and Umtizwa, if edlala a local dropper to the midfield, that means one of the center backs will have to go with him. Not really, but they get tempted because we are humans, and in your mind you're always like, I must mark this person and they mustn't get away from me. And if that happens to be the defender who's central, that means there's a hole that gets open in the middle of the two defenders, and then they struggle to close that gap because left gap, and as such there's a lot of disorganization with that formation, and that usually works in teams that have been playing for a long time, like we Belgium, no Tenaya, no Alderweireld, no Vertonghen. Those players have been playing for a long time together and they know good, okay, we communicate constantly, or if someone is out of position we do this, or most of all Ukante in the case of Chelsea will drop and make sure there is no one who false nine ozoloku it disrupts the organization in the back three. Now, having spoken about that, let's move on to what I think will happen in this game. I think Uzwane might actually change the system, Beno Shepard, to a 4-3-3 because of the reasons that I've just mentioned, and also to involve more attacking players up front, right? Now, let me see and try to predict the starting lineup, Gaata and Shepard Xas. So the first one, obviously, we keep goalkeeper Peterson. Some people, I don't know, Keeper makes one mistakes after saving you for all these previous months, and now people are calling for Peterson side. People need to calm down, okay? He made a mistake, he couldn't save the ball, you know how we considered the goal at the weekend, but come on, it was just one mistake. He's been good for us, and I think Uzwane as well will keep him. Going to right back is Uplom. I would keep Uplom because Vele, he's... By the way, did you guys realize how different Uplom was from when he was playing from Baxter and from what he was playing this game? It looked like there was more energy to him. It was just overlapping more. You could see Uplom yambo nanya overlap, we are inverting manje, we are support, zamuk party ball, zamuk dribble at this person, zamuk this and that. There was that difference that was visible. So that's good, and I think Uplom will play a right back. And then I'm a center backs too. This is another area where people were like, Ungezano Beboza. No. Some people were saying that Udube was doing better than Ungezana, and I beg to differ. Here's the reason why I say that. So the first thing is that Ungobo looked off his pace. Literally. I mean, because what happened, I'm saying he was not at his best. And as a result, Stellenbosch ended up targeting his side of the back line. Why was that the case? Because Bebaz Uguti, it's easier, or they stand a better chance of beating him at pace. And Amabola Aipuma Vele little side Angagulo. We second half, you even saw there was one where he actually caught up with Umsea Medi, and there was one where he was actually beaten for pace, and he took a shot on target Umsea Medi, and then I think he missed. And the reason why they did that, it's not because Ungob was saving us from a lot of trouble, but it's because they identified Uguti, okay, that side we can beat him for pace, which is our strength, because this is what the big teams and Okocha Basile Vele do. In any team, example, I know I use Liverpool and Manchester City a lot, but it's because most of you guys know Liverpool and Manchester City. If you're playing against Liverpool, Utrent is so good going forward, but if you notice, all the teams that play against Liverpool, they always attack left side Yabo, which is Liverpool's right side, because they know one Utrent is either gonna be forward, or you have a better chance of beating him one-on-one than Robertson, because also with Liverpool on the left udlala Robertson and the left centre back is Virgil van Dijk. You don't want to go through those because Van Dijk ngekudlule kuye. But on the right you have Trent, and then the next person also be Matip, and that is called equality overload, where you put your best players on the side where the other team's weaknesses seem to be on. Now, he was not our weakness, but with the pace, they knew they stood a better advantage than him, and that is why it always looked like he was doing more. But it was because they were targeting his side more. So, Masbuki Paula, let's not just be emotional and look ukuthi ushaye tackle. Vele ngeke ungezana shaye tackle kwa left ekubeni be attacker kwa right. Ngeke shaye tackle, ngeke shaye tackle kwa left ekubeni kwa right. You understand? So let's also watch football and analyze these things, and not just go on Twitter and embarrass ourselves by saying izinto that we did not really analyze the game through and see how it was happening. Having said that, I would keep Ungezana no Ngcobo, because both of them, I think they are brilliant players. And while another thing one of you guys commented below, Guti, one of the things that is underrated by Ungezana is his ability to carry the ball and drive with the ball forward. Now, a defender, this is not 2005. Uguti, when you're a defender, we just want you to defend. If you're a defender, also need you to drive forward with the ball, to go forward with the ball and be able to start chances and create from the back, because some other teams, they will just sit back and wait for you guys to play. And if you only depend on your midfield and front three to play the ball, then you're not going to have enough people on the opposition half, because I'm a defender defend. Now, coming to the left back, it's going to be tricky. Here's why it's going to be tricky. Umashiane, we saw, he hasn't had a lot of game time, and when he did play further up, he struggled a bit, because I think it's also a matter of game time, and and now the problem is, if he doesn't play, that might dent his confidence. Why? Because he's not been playing for a long time, and the last time he actually was a starter, like when he played with finally Champions League and then made a mistake, afterwards Baxter never played him. And now if Uzwane does the same thing, okay, you are not playing the greatest, so I'm benching you, that might not be so nice for his confidence. But the problem with playing him very out of that, because we see in big teams, coaches who can manage players better are the ones who tend to succeed. How Klopp hugs his players and is very like having a relationship now better than Guto Moreno usually. There are some players he manages better, like when he was at Spurs, and then Kane started performing better because man management works like that. If you can manage players better, then they will perform better. And I think because of that, Martial might end up starting. The problem though is that Ufrosla came in and played better, and we know Guti is a good defender, and Velegui formation in a back four, you need a person or specializer more defensively, because Martial, we are to defender, but is much better if you start him further up front. But that's going to be a problem also, because there's a lot of competition further up. So what I see, probably, this might not happen, probably happening, Martial might start at left back, and that would mean Ufrosla will go to right back, also bench in. And if Hlala go right back, Ufrosla, that means Uplomo will swing. And if that does not happen, if Uklala Umashiane or Frostla will left back, Eswini will still have Cole. I see nothing wrong with that. I see nothing wrong with playing Abadlali, Abana experience. The problem that I have is when you start playing 7 of them and you don't give the youngsters an opportunity to shine as well. So I don't see a problem with playing Okole as a holding midfielder. He's good, he can play there. And if he doesn't play, Vele Guplom can always play there, and then keep Frosla on the right, and then Mashiane will left back. And then we have our number 8, better about 2. Number 6, number 8. Now there, Konu Hatebe, and Uzwane is something that he said after the game. He said our players looked a bit shy. It's like they were scared of playing the ball. And one of those players that I can say looked a bit scared of playing Uyevelu Hatebe. And it's gonna be interesting to see what's gonna happen, because Upaka will also be back in tomorrow's game, and people are saying, oh, why Upaka is not playing as a striker, or bench Upaka sucks. That's not necessarily true. And it's gonna seem like I like defending Park, but he works Upaka when he's as a grounding, and uyakwazi ukudlala ball. Ukuthi nje ama frustrations ama fans are also based on the fact that he's old and other younger players can be given an opportunity. But who do I see playing left and right? I could see Ngcobo starting tomorrow's game, and Ubakas as well. Now with Ubakas angadlala as number 8, or I think Ozwane if they can change to 4-2-3-1, because Ubakas is much better when edlala as i6 yesibili, like makudlala 4-2-3-1, because then in that case we are collect a ball and start building up from the back and help it defense with building up. The thing with Ubakas, the reason why he's usually paired with someone, if you have looked, uyakwazi ukudefender, but that's not his greatest strengths. His strength is actually building up and carrying the ball and passing the ball. Not so much carrying, but passing the ball and being able to help in midfield here to have position and to continue keeping the ball and going forward with the ball. So if edlala Ubakas mhlambe bangamdlalisa as a 6, but I think mayidlala uzobe second 6 edlala naye uCole, or bangamdlalisa as 8, because even if udlala 8, we see it with Man City ku 8 when they were playing with Liverpool ku FA Cup, they did drop uBernardo was playing as a number 8, and he dropped even deeper than uFernandinho ku yena edlala 6, and they could do the same thing ukuthi ku drop Ubakas ayolanda ibhola emumva and start building up from the back and be able to dictate a position for the team as well. Now with front three, that's where we have, it's easier to select the team with front three, but we could see some unexpected changes as well. For instance, kwa left vele on our right side we have Utoli as right winger, we have Utoli, it's obvious, but la ku number 9, that's where the question lies, who is going to play that position? I'll tell you why. Because we saw ukuthi umfoka i-Colombian leli lakwa Castro did not give us much. I know there's this thing that we have ukuthi sifuna ukubona iCPT, people want to see CPT, and vele uCastro over Unukovic when it comes to playing the ball. uCastro is better with that, but otherwise there isn't much. So mina I think in order to be able also to fit the other players that we want to see start in the team, I would play uBilliat as a false 9, because mawudlala nabantu bazobidlala 4-3-3 with 4-2-3-1 bawu-3, and then with false 9 yet if you drop yeswini, then that means we're not only matching arrows, but now we have numerical advantage because it's about 4. So drop yeswini, overload asibe about 4, and then mayidlala false 9 uBilliat, then as our left winger, I see Tumsan Zong starting. Man, that guy has not played in a long time, but when he came back and played Umsholozi sambona sonke how good he was, and I could see him start tomorrow's game, and that means we'll have to sacrifice someone, which is uCastro Nukovic, which I really don't think it's sacrificing them. I think it's just putting all your best players out there to play the game, and that's why I think uBilliat would play a false 9 or number 9 depending on how the coaches see it. That's just what I'm observing and what I saw after uCastro was taken off in the previous game. So then you have Leo Frantri, Katoli, uBilliat, Nomsholozi, ziyakhala vele, because wonke umuntu osegroundini can play the ball, and you have your pace ngapha Kamsholozi, dribbling ability as well, and then you have Magdlalo Mashiana kwa left, you have him flying over, overlapping and then crossing the ball into the box, or them playing those combinations, because Babel Dali ball, I saw that it was so good, even if kuguthi kudlala umjida lo aka Frosla, now you figure in Vetulandi bowler, then we can play the ball into the box. Basically I see Chiefs being electric kusasa, and I'm so excited because I'm going. Let me know down on the comment section below, because if you comment, guys, another thing, as this channel is growing so fast, is because you guys are helping this channel grow. You are liking these videos, continue doing that, and you're also commenting on them. So please continue commenting, letting me know what you think you will see tomorrow. And if you haven't subscribed, please subscribe to this channel and go down to the comment section and say I subscribed. This on Bonaksasa after the game, guys, and until next time, remember, equals Alpelu Moy. Also give me your match prediction down on the comment section below. I see Chiefs winning 3-1 tomorrow. Let's go.